Here we are strolling through the beautiful Rampire, and today I'm going to share with you some of the best early game tips to help propel you towards a kingdom of your own. Number 1, begin with your endgame character in mind. Now, Mount and Blade is not a game where you need to min-max in order to be successful, even at the highest difficulty. But if you want to get your skills over level 300, you need to allocate your points carefully, specifically your attribute points. As you can see, we have here a level 35 character with level 7 endurance and 5 skill points in athletics, which caps us out at level 288. Now, the reason we would want to go higher than 288 is because for every level above 250 in athletics, you get plus 1 hit points. So if you want to be an unstoppable juggernaut, you need this skill as high as possible. In order to make that happen, you need to have level 10 endurance, which requires a little bit of planning. As you can see here, we have a total of 30 attribute points at level 35, 12 from the base stats, where you get 2 in each category, 6 more from character creation selections, and finally, we have gained 12 through levels or different skill points. Therefore, you can have every attribute at level 5, or pick the ones that you want to be good at and focus those early on to make the endgame playstyle that you want. One thing to note is that the skills you need in the end game are different than those you need at the start, and there are 4 skills you'll need to make big decisions on that we'll get into in a later tip. Number 2, pick the best kingdom. Before you even begin your character creation process, you're asked to pick a kingdom. And while I said you don't need to min-max in this game, one kingdom stands clearly above the rest, the Botanians. What makes the Botanians so much better is the 50% less speed penalties in forests. Now, in forest, you are penalized 1.5 speed, which is a massive amount. And naturally, this perk adds back 0.75, which is an incredible boost. This allows you to catch up to, or run away from enemies that are faster than you by steering them towards the forest, where suddenly, you are the faster one. Considering you spend a large amount of the game chasing down or running away from enemies, this bonus is great at all stages of the game. The other kingdoms that are decent are the Azray for the no desert penalty bonus, which is helpful for the same reasons as the Botanians if you plan to play in this part of the map. Additionally, the 5% renown boost for the Vladanians is nice, as you need a ton of renown to level up your clan in the early game, but the 20% cost to recruit lords into your army can definitely hurt in the late game. Ultimately, while the Botanians are the best kingdom to pick, definitely pick the faction that fits your RP and that you'll have fun playing as that's the end goal of this game. Number 3, protect yourself at a reasonable price. Now, when you first start your new game, you are very weak and are in danger of being attacked and taken captive by bandits. As someone who spent the majority of my first playthrough as a prisoner, I can tell you that it is not fun. Therefore, immediately when you start a new game, you want to do several things. First is go to a nearby city and arm up. While they give you starting weapons based on your character creation process, this might not line up with the endgame character or playstyle that you want to create. Head to the nearest city and buy the gear to match your playstyle, but make sure to pick some cheap items as money's going to be very tight in the early game. In my opinion, the easiest playstyles, particularly for newer players, are Horse and Archer or One-Handed and Shield. Of course, you can do both, and you can get both sets of weapons for pretty cheap. Now that you're geared up, you are still vulnerable to the looters, as it's tough to take out a group of them solo in the early game. Their rocks hurt, please trust me on that. Therefore, your next goal is to get about 20-ish troops at a reasonable cost. What I mean by that is there's no need to spend a ton of money on tavern troops yet. Instead, recruit from the notables in the cities and villages and level them to tier 2. A nice mix of archers and frontliners work best. These tier 2 units will let you crush looters without crushing your bank account. Early game, the elite troops cost a bit too much and will have you broke and vulnerable again before you know it. Once you get troops, make sure you have enough food and horses for storage, and you are good to go. Number 4, make money. Making money is one of the most important things you'll be doing in Mount and Blade, and you need to start making money as soon as possible. This is such a big topic that I have another video made specifically for early game money making that you can go and check out. I'll link that below. The Cliff Notes version is you want to be doing activities that make you money and renown at the same time, which includes battling looters and tournaments. If that isn't paying the bills, you can gamble, do quests, become a mercenary. There are a ton of options here. In addition to just earning money, in the early game, it's great to start leveling the skills that are going to help you make money later into the game, like smithing and trading. Again, like I said, this is a huge topic, and feel free to take a deeper dive into our separate videos, but make sure you're making money. Number 5, secure your heirs. One of the easiest ways to expand your clan's power and gain additional companions is by marrying and producing heirs. And you're going to want to do this as soon as possible. The easiest way to marry is to hit N to get to your encyclopedia, and then you click on Heroes. On the left side, you can filter by gender, and scrolling down, you can filter by unmarried people. Now, you can further filter by culture or occupation if you so choose, but I don't really think that's necessary. Make sure to pick someone who is young to extend the amount of time that you can be making children, and pick someone who has strong stats. And you want to do this as your wife is going to be your companion, and having a strong one really makes a difference. To find the spouse, once you've chosen someone you want to marry, click on their name, look at their last known location in the top right, click on it, and then click on track. You can then start moving towards that area. These people can, of course, move, and so stop by cities every now and again to get an updated location. An additional bonus of getting married early is that your spouse typically comes equipped with very strong gear, which is a very nice bonus. Now, once you're married, to begin having children, simply have your spouse in your party and wait overnight in a city, giving you a chance at a child. The reason you really want to be focused on this early is, unlike companions, you can have as many children as you want, and you can use them in the same capacity as companions. So make sure that early on you are producing party leaders, governors, warriors, as many companions as possible to make sure that your clan's future is secure. Number 6, assemble your companions. Now, I mentioned earlier that there are 4 skills you need to make a big decision on, and those 4 are Steward, Medicine, Engineering, and Scouting, and these are some of the most important skills in the game. The decision you need to make is your character going to be responsible for these skills, or are you going to pass it off to one of your companions? What I mean is you can click on your clan tab, go over to parties, and assign either yourself or one of your companions to the 4 roles listed. Now, if you select a companion, then their skill in that category will be used for your party. Additionally, that companion will gain all of the XP and levels from any activity related to that skill. Given that it's impossible to be the best at every skill, delegating these roles can be quite useful. Again, to find the best suited companions is similar to finding your wife. Go to the encyclopedia, Heroes, and select Wanderers. Typically, their names will indicate if they are good at such skills, such as the Healer or the Wanderer. Once you have found your folks, recruit them, assign them to the role, and off you go. Use your companions to smith. In addition to providing valuable roles in your party, you can use your companions to smith. Given that smithing is time-consuming and requires a lot of waiting to replenish stamina bars, your companions can significantly speed up this process. To use your companions, simply go to the smithy, select the portrait in the bottom left, and change to the character you want to use. Now, to take this a step further, you can actually level up your companions to have complementary smithing skills. For example, my main character is skilled with learning new schematics faster, reducing stamina for smelting and crafting weapons, so any time I need someone to craft a weapon or smelt down weapons, I use him. Now, to make sure my main character always has materials, one of my companions is spec'd to be able to craft upper tier materials and require less stamina to refine those materials. Together, they complement each other to make the perfect smithing team. But at the end of the day, even if you don't want to min-max like that, always use your companion's smithing stamina. But never make charcoal on a character that doesn't have efficient charcoal maker, the level 25 talent. Otherwise, you might run into some supply issues. But use their stamina bars, as it's going to speed up the process significantly. Number 8, become a mercenary. As soon as you're able to, you'll want to join a kingdom as a mercenary. Now, in order to be eligible for a mercenary, you need to be clan rank 1, which in the main quest requires you to have 2k dinars, 50 renown, a party of 20 people, and to have hired a companion. Now, if you followed the other tips up to this point, this should take care of itself and shouldn't be an issue. Now, once you are clan rank 1, there's 2 ways to become a mercenary. The first is to wait and be offered a mercenary contract by a kingdom, or you can go to the kingdom you want to join and ask a noble to pledge your sword. One thing to note is that the kingdom has to actively be at war to recruit you as a mercenary. Now, the benefits of being a mercenary are that you can earn extra dinars from fights, typically fights that you're already doing, such as against looters. And this salary is going to help you start to get more and better troops and to be able to pay off their salaries effectively. Additionally, once you're a mercenary, you can join in big kingdom battles as part of an army, which, in addition to being a ton of fun, can yield a good amount of renown and XP in the early game. Finally, becoming a mercenary will help with our next tip. Number 9, get other clans to like you. Once you're in the late game and are looking to establish your own kingdom, you need to recruit other clans to your cause. And for that, you need them to like you. Therefore, in the early and mid game, you should be looking to get as much reputation bonuses as possible with as many clans as possible. One easy way is, as a mercenary, fight with your clansmen and gain reputation through battles with them. Additionally, once you've won a large battle and you have captured enemy lords, let them go. It sounds crazy, but by letting them go, rather than keeping them as captives, it's going to increase your charm skill and increase your reputation with that clan by a lot. Additionally, at this point, you really shouldn't need money from ransoming them, so the benefits of letting them go significantly outweigh the benefits of taking them captive. Ultimately, by releasing lords again and again, it's just going to make it that much easier to recruit them later when you need them. Finally, don't execute enemy nobles. This not only will significantly decrease your rep with them, but also with their friends, which they have a lot of. So unless you want to sit there and have a continuous messages of minus reputation with this clan, don't execute lords. As much as it might feel good in the moment to relieve a hated enemy of his head, it's going to hurt you later on when you're looking to conquer the world. Number 10, have fun. At the end of the day, this is a very complex and beautiful game that will take a while to master, but it is a game and it's designed to have fun. So enjoy your time taking over the world. And as always, thank you for stopping by, and I look to see you on our next videos.